Early October last year, a doll show took place in Dublin, Ireland, where the One Young World Summit was held. The attendants were taken aback listening to the ridiculous lies about her escape story and human rights situation in North Korea, told in tears by a 21-year-old voluptuous girl in a Korean national dress who introduced herself as a defector student. Shortly after her performance, the deceptive drama performed in tears by this cunning witch not only deceived the world through its posting in YouTube, but also prompted several publishing houses in Europe to go the lengths of announcing one after another their plans to publish defector's memoirs featuring her story of personal experience within this year. This is Park Yeonmi, who fled North Korea at the age of 13. Then who is Park Yeonmi? Can the world really trust her trumpeting story of personal experience, which is to be the theme of defector's memoirs? This program will reveal the truth, and those who have been enchanted by the witch will feel ashamed of themselves and spit at anti-DPRK human rights plotters who made a mockery of the world by wire-pulling their doll Park Yeonmi behind the curtain. Let's see one by one the ridiculous lies told by Park Yeonmi. To begin with, her escape story itself is absolutely absurd. She said she climbed 3 or even 4 mountains during the night to get to the border from Haesan. But from Haesan in Ryanggang province, where she was born and lived before fleeing the country, there is no mountain to climb in order to reach the border. All she needs is to cross a river which is so near from Haesan. Her inconsistencies in the testimony about her father enhanced the absurdity and poorness of Park Yeonmi's script. In an interview with an Australian broadcast journalist and with a libertarian radio station in San Francisco, she said she and her parents, 3 of them, had crossed a river to reach China in March 2007, where her father's business partners were waiting for them with their cars. However, her father had never been to China to begin with. In order to sell her story, Park Yeonmi said her father was a high-ranking official of an institution of the North Korean regime, but was locked up in a political prison camp. But in fact, he, aged 52, was born as a 3rd son of Park Chung-gyu, and worked for Haesan People's Committee, Ryanggang Province, as a blue-collar worker. Later, he was released on sick bail from the reform institution and received medical treatment in Haesan.
예, 우리 집 식구가 지금 형제들이 형제입니다. 예, 내가 둘째입니다. 예, 그리고 셋째로 있는 거는 그 여자 동생인데 지금 현재 평양에서 살고 있습니다. 그리고 넷째가 박진식입니다.
우리 기억에는 2003년경이라고 생각되는데 나라에서 하지 말라는 농장사를 하다가 그런 범죄를 해서 교화를 가게 됐고
Father died in China after he escaped North Korea. And I had to bury him at 3 a.m. in secret. I was 14 years old.
아마 2007년도 같습니다. 2007년도에 예, 그러니까 병보 속으로 나와 있다가 그러다가 우리는 그때 당시에 병원에서도 그 지장암이라고 했습니다. 그때 당시에. 예, 그래서 병원에 우리는 그러니까 그러면서 그 진정제를 맞으며 치료받다가
우선 그 병이라는 게 여기서 다 셀 때를 세고 우선은 뭐 누기 맞다나 며칠은 안 된다는 의사들이 그 결로 있었기 때문에 강서에 가서 자기 동무들인 데 가서 방조독점 받고 또 자기 늘어놓은 돈도 있겠으니까.
We followed his path and went to Gangso district in Nampo City.
내가 이때 회의 갔다 저녁 한 7시 반쯤에 왔습니다. 7시 반쯤에 왔는데 어떤 주민이 와서 사람이 당당 죽어가는데 지금 숨 넘어가는 것 같더라. 그래서 따라갔는데 가서 들이가 보니까 환자는 벌써 숨이 넘어간 상태였습니다. 그래서 내가 이 환자가 어디 있는 사람이나 그러니까 해산이다 길두란 말입니다. 같이 완 사람 보고 이 사람이 알테 알았나 며칠 알았나 물어봤단 말입니다. 그러니까 뭐 아파서 2, 3일 뭐 무슨 소화제도 사다 먹이고 그랬다는데 그래서 내가 환자를 보니까 말 듣고 보니까 이건 취장암으로 사망했다. 왜? 배에는 고장이 찼단 말이다. 이게 공기가 찼으니까 공기 찬 거 보고 고장이다 합니다. 의학에서는. 근데 그 같이 온 동료가 이거 가문 가족에게 이게 이런 거 증명서 해달라. 그래서 그때 사망 확인서를 해줬습니다.
I saw my mother raped. The rapist was
Let's trace back the past of Byun Gum-suk, Park Yeon-mi's mother, who claimed to have been raped before her daughter's eyes by Chinese dealers during their escape.
박진식이하고 병금숙이 사이는 우리도 부관계를 해가지고 살지만은 우리 여자들이라는 게 어디까지나 자기 삐심을 들어서라도 남편을 내세우고 남편이 사업을 방조해주는 이런 원칙에서 사는 여자가 아니고 어떻게나 남편을 빡빡 긁어서 등을 쳐서 머물려는 이런 정말 인간으로서는 찾아보기 힘든 정도의 여자라고 찾아봤습니다. 잘 되든 못 되든 제 몸 치료만 하고 제 입 치료만 하고 새끼 치료만 하면서 남편을 남편같이 굴지 않았기 때문에 어리게 성하지 못하고 가족을 그렇게 돌봐주지 못하니까 인간 이하의 천대와 멸실로 우리도 너무 기막혀서 한번 올라가 보니까 진씨가 울면서 말합니다. 자기는 저 여자하고 정말 한 하늘을 이고 살지 못하겠다고. 어떻게나 자기는 그러면서 그때 남편하고 같이 올라갔다는데 저런 여자하고는 사생 결단을 해보겠다고 그렇게 말한 적도 있었습니다.
금숙이가 화장을 너무 진하게 해서 옆집에 그 엄마가 군상 파면을 했다고요. 우리 아버지가 군상 갈수 부기장 할 때 그 여자를 파면을 해줬단 말입니다. 그러니까 그 엄마가 날 보고 말해주더라고. 야, 음유만 너무나도 화장을 진하게 해서 그러면서 막 보는 사람이 막 창피할 정도야. 너희가 왔을 때 말 좀 해주라.
Byun Gum-suk fled to Pyeonmin-sik, her elder brother in Kowon, South Hamgyong province, after selling her house when her husband was doing time in a reform institution for his crime.
2003년도에 나와서 그 남편이 겨와가서 그 집장 다 팔고 나와서 도매에 와서 아예 살겠다고 나왔다단 말입니다. 여기
연미가 있다가 잠역이 졌습니다. 이건 연미 엄마가 요 액투를 평양에서 쌓은 겁니다.
방을 갈라서
Park Yeon-mi said she lived with her aunt on father's side, separate from her elder sister living with her uncle, and she couldn't afford to go to school. Now let's listen to what her aunt has got to say.
저 아이들은 독지강 중학교 보냈단 말입니다. 무서운 야신갑니다. 이제 학급에서 이렇게 간부 선거했는데 학교 들어가서 몇 달, 그래서 한두 달 만에 간부 선거했는데 중학교 올라간 게 학급반장 안 시켰다고 다음날 집에 와서 고민한단 말입니다. 할 바에 학급반장 해야지. 응? 학급반장도 안 시키는데 난 구선세 싫어 하면서 군단 말입니다. 엄마라는 게, 야, 너가 이제 들어간 게 무슨 학교 반장하니? 다른 아들보다 공부 못하는 게 어떻게 학교 반장하니? 그러면서 엄마가 막 올리더라 말입니다. 좀 야심이 강렬하다고 봐야지. 나이가 어린데, 이렇게 말이람 하는 거 보면, 어머니, 나는, 시집 못 가면 말하지. 돈 많은 갑부한테만 시집 가겠습니다. 이렇게 말하고, 그 나이 어린 게 말을 해도 엉뚱하게 그런 말 한단 말이에요.
그래서 우리 동생 욕하는 게 연미하고 음미 제 이미가 나 닮아서 그래서 한양년처럼 화장하는 것밖에 모른다고 깊게 욕하더라고 그때. 갓나들이 학생이라는 게 그래서 지장만 하고 긴다고.
At that time, Park Yeonmi said she lived on grass and even ate dragonflies. Let's again listen to what her relatives have to say about this.
잘 살았다는 건 말할 수 없습니다. 왜? 아버지 엄마가 동장사를 하다 나니까 그하고 강내밥이란 거 한 번도 못 먹어보고 입밥을 먹고 살고 여기 와서도 집하란 돈으로 쌀을 톤으로 쌓아놓고 벼를 한 톤씩 막 이렇게 쌓아놓고 그렇게 하고 소리 먹고 살았습니다. 공하고 북반부 안에서 나서 자라서
강요죠.
정말 아이 무상으로
우리
사회에서 정말 행복하게 살던 아이가 어떻게 그렇게 말할 수 있습니까? 난 생날짜를 그렇게 지어낼 수 있나? 철면피하게 조선 사람으로서.
이 학교 다닐 때도 간이상 없이 어떻게 짐자리 입고
어찌든 가대처럼 잘 입고 돈짜리 어티만 입힌 아이들 없습니다. 해산에서 어쨌든 그 누구보다도 남부럽지 않게 제일 잘 살았단 말입니다. 집안 안에. 냉동기면 냉동기도 제일 비싼 냉동기. 중포기면 몽땅 좋은 것만 쓰고 놓고 살았다.
고원군은 우리 곡창지대입니다. 우리 거기서 풀두던 건 완전히 새빠른 거짓말입니다. 이건 날짜 그건 그렇게 그 말했다는 건 완전히 우리를 헐뜯게 한 이런
개수작이에요.
This is the true story. Park Yeonmi is making a mockery of the world public with her ridiculous lies this way, utterly contrary to the actual realities. He is a Swiss businessman who worked in the DPRK for 7 years until 2009. In his email to the diplomat, he rebutted what she said of her hometown, saying he had never been exposed to any corpse during his numerous visits to DPRK. Park Yeonmi said that the Dublin Canal reminded her of a river in Hesan, her hometown, where every morning she saw a corpse floating down. Abt went on to say that as a technician he traveled to many parts of the DPRK, seeing infrastructures and bridges of North Korea at any time he wanted. He testified that what came into his sight at the rivers were the faces of happy children splashing in the waters. He also denied the rumor that North Korea gets rid of deformed babies as soon as they were born, citing the attendance of our players in the Asian Paralympics held recently in Incheon, South Korea. Mary Ann Jolly, an Australian broadcast journalist, revealed that though Park Yeonmi claimed that she saw her friend's mother executed at a stadium in Hesan in 2002, several other defectors from Hesan stated that they have never seen public executions in stadiums or streets. She disclosed that Park Yeonmi's account of the crimes of this woman changes constantly depending on her audience. While visiting Europe recently, Park said the woman was executed for watching a James Bond movie. But then in Hong Kong a few months ago, Park told the audience the woman was executed for watching a South Korean DVD. So in her article to The Diplomat, the internet magazine published in Japan, she casts doubt whether the inconsistencies in Park's story are merely memory lapses. She also questioned whether the world could rely on the memory of a 21-year-old who left North Korea when she was 13. She said other North Korean defectors she had interviewed for that article had expressed worries that Park Yeonmi's inconsistencies and flawed accounts will make the world start to doubt their stories. Even Pyun Gum-suk, Park's mother, confirmed that they had never suffered from hunger in North Korea. She said her daughter would call her after the TV show and say she has no idea what she is talking about. As you can see, both Park and her mother have admitted that they have no idea what they are talking about the human rights situation in North Korea. This clearly proves that their scripts are written by the US and its followers. The US and its followers singled out Park Yeonmi as their doll for the anti-DPRK human rights racket in consideration of her merit of having inherited genes of evil and lewdness from her parents. She was taught English systematically for the international anti-DPRK human rights racket and was fed with false information about the human rights situation in North Korea to learn by heart. Michael Bazette, an analyst of North Korean issues who worked for years near the military demarcation line for the US Army, claimed as follows. Her message, in which she had requested anonymity, was written in too perfect English for a girl whose native language is not English. She seems to be acting according to a scenario. Park Yeonmi's tale is utterly false, and her description of human rights situation in North Korea as a massacre is merely a publicity stunt to cause a great sensation. She is now acting according to the scenario of anti-DPRK organizations in South Korea, including Freedom Factory. As is proven above, Park Yeonmi, the then 13-year-old girl, no longer exists. Today's Park Yeonmi must be the ghost, Anna Robert, programmed by Malayan software human rights plotters. The US and its followers must have been really insane in their human rights racket and driven into a dead end to have dragged even a 13-year-old girl into the dustbin of capitalism and mentally disabled her. This act alone of turning once an innocent girl into an incurable mentally disabled and forcing her to commit the crime of deceiving the world for the sensual effects of their false propaganda is clearly a serious violation of human rights. Such fuss on human rights of North Korea by the US and South Korean puppets, taking advantage of their long-trained Park Yeonmi, will no longer work in the civilized world. The other day, Blaine Harden, author of the book Escape from the Concentration Camp No. 14, in the name of Shin Dong-hyuk, a defector who was drawing the attention of the world press, made public that Shin Dong-hyuk himself admitted of having told lies about his mother's execution. Shin Dong-hyuk himself had apologized for having created confusion with his lies. Antonio Razzi, the Secretary of Senate Diplomatic Relations Committee of Italy, also stated to the following effect in an interview with the Italian Radio 24 broadcast. The alleged existence of concentration camp in North Korea is a complete fabrication. What Shin Dong-hyuk, a defector from North Korea, told in the press interview are all lies, cooked up only to make money. Park Yeonmi, who with her bewitching appearance performed under the patronage of anti-DPRK human rights plotters, is also destined to be dumped into the disgusting garbage, just like Shin Dong-hyuk, the same human scum. The impartial world media should not be taken in nor be confused at the childish poor performance of Park Yeonmi. They ought to wield the pen of justice for disclosing the vicious anti-DPRK human rights racket staged by the insensible and unreasonable anti-DPRK hostile forces.